Hi, I'm Benjamin Morgan, the Chief Executive of the Aircraft Owners and Pilots Association of Australia, and I'm just doing a very quick Facebook Live this evening in response to a post that has been put forward on the Recreational Aviation Australia Discussions Forum, which is administrated by Josh Mesleen. The post addresses concerns that Josh has in relation to the Facebook Live sessions that AOPA Australia has launched now many weeks ago, and we have been moving forward on. And it centres around the fact that we have a broadcast which runs on Tuesday night, and we have had some intermediary broadcasts which have run on Thursday night tonight, which will be with representatives of the Central Coast Central Coast Council, Councillor Greg Best, and Central Coast Aero Club. Last week's Thursday broadcast conflicted with the Recreational Aviation Discussions regular Thursday broadcast that they do to their regular recreational members. And under normal circumstance, we don't normally broadcast on a Thursday. However, due to time commitments with BRM Aero and with Anderson Aviation, we had no choice but to move that broadcast onto the Thursday and to make it happen. And we remain incredibly grateful for the time that Lorraine and Bob McGilvray gave and Brett Anderson gave in that session. This week we have Councillor Greg Best from the Central Coast Council who will be speaking on our panel discussion, and Councillor Best is bringing forward a motion which will be heard by Council on Monday morning. A motion that requires support from the aviation industry in order to protect the Central Coast Warnervale Airport for both recreational pilots and also for general aviation pilots across this industry. Now, under normal circumstance, we would not be broadcasting on a Thursday, but as your advocate and representative on these issues, I felt it was incredibly important that we get the broadcast to air to ensure that recreational and general aviation pilots have the opportunity to hear directly from the councillor, to understand the motion that's being put before the council, and to enable you all the opportunity to go forward in working together to help protect your Central Coast Airport from being closed. And I would have thought that this was something that most people in this industry would understand and value. But this afternoon, before being given an opportunity to have any discussion with Josh decided to launch an online attack on myself and AOPA, claiming that we were trying to hijack the Thursday broadcasts from his recreational channel, and alleging that AOPA Australia was showing incredibly poor airmanship for the industry. Now, under normal circumstances, I try not to respond to this type of garbage for one very important reason. Those that seek to attack us typically do it for self-interest. And I try to look past that self-interest, understanding that in the course of advocating for the industry, there'll always be some, not everybody, but there'll always be some that we can't make happy. That most famous quote, you can make some of the people happy some of the time, but we certainly can't make everyone happy. Now, on the whole, I believe that AOPA Australia, across this last 4 years that I've been involved with the association, has gone above and beyond, not only to defend the participants of this industry in a determined campaign to protect the rights of pilots and aircraft owners and aviation businesses, but we've demonstrated that we are there when it counts. Time and time again, AOPA Australia has been at the front line of airport disputes and battles across this country, and I have given up more weekends and more time, more personal time that I don't get paid for, and my board would be happy to attest to the fact that I have worked above and beyond what would be normally accepted of any person in this role. But I have done so willingly and always with the sense of mind that what we're trying to achieve here is we are trying to protect all pilots and all aircraft owners. And so today's attack, it's very difficult for that attack to be taken as anything other than just directly personal. I find it odd that we are in this industry together with the problems that are going on around us, and rather than having organisations and groups working together, what we appear to be focused on is cutting each other's throats for the sake of cutting each other's throats. Now, I understand and I appreciate that There are issues and there are topics that AOPA Australia will discuss and we will put forward, and not everyone is going to enjoy the content of every conversation that has to take place. But that is natural. It's a perfectly normal thing that there is going to be topics from time to time that we all agree on, that we sometimes agree on and sometimes we disagree on. That's normal. But to actively campaign to try and undermine the efforts of the one organisation, and I can say that quite comfortably, the one organisation that has sought to work as hard as humanly possible to protect the rights of aircraft owners and pilots because of a conflict of a stream on YouTube is ludicrous, to say the least. Now, AOPA supports the recreational community. If we didn't support the recreational community, we would not have been there in December of last year, standing shoulder to shoulder with RAAus Director Eugene Reid, seeking to protect his local airfield in Tasmania from closure. The council was intending to sell that airport off, and Eugene Reid of the RAAus came to AOPA Australia because he couldn't get any assistance from his own organisation, and out of desperation came to me, uncertain as to even whether we would help, but of course we would help. We want to see this industry survive, we want to see this industry succeed. It wasn't that long ago I had a recreational pilot contact me and run afoul of the local police in Tasmania for having a replica gun on his aircraft. His organisation wouldn't help. And I dropped everything at the time to contact Senator Jackie Lambie and to organise a meeting with the police commissioner and the relevant people in Tasmania to see to it that that recreational pilot, who wasn't a member of AOPA Australia, was protected, to ensure that that individual had his rights affirmed and that he wasn't going to face any stupidity at the hands of police who didn't understand the situation. So to read this post this afternoon and to be attacked as being uncaring or as to being thoughtless or as to not seeking to work in a manner that is collegiate with the rest of the bodies is just an absolute joke. And I do take it with deep offence. And I think I'm entitled to take it with deep offence because whilst you're bickering online on your post, I'll be in the next hour and a half sitting with Councillor Greg Best and representatives on the Central Coast trying to build awareness on how you, the industry, that is recreational and general aviation, can play your part in helping protect your airports. Now, I won't labour on this much more than I have right now, and I thought I would put something together in post, but I would prefer the opportunity for everyone to look at me and to understand that when you attack, you're attacking me. You're throwing a hand grenade at me. And all I'm trying to do is I'm trying to help your industry. I'm trying to help your involvement in aviation. And I'm trying to protect the aviation industry from having its rights taken away. And I think anyone that's been involved in aviation for the past 30 years must directly and deeply understand that the rights of this industry are being taken away. So, is it bad airmanship for AOPA to move quickly to ensure that we put a voice to what is about to happen at the Central Coast meeting for next week? No, it is not. Of course it makes sense. Of course it's in support of the recreational and general aviation industry. Of course we're doing it because we want to make certain that recreational pilots and general aviation pilots continue to have an airport on the Central Coast and are able to continue flying. So I do apologise that the streams conflict. I don't feel that that confliction is enough to warrant and to justify this personal attack. And I would hope that in future, that rather than jumping online and throwing a grenade and a torpedo at the one organisation that's actually fighting to protect your regional airports, we could be a little bit more respectful and understand that we're all just trying to do the best that we possibly can under incredibly trying circumstance. There is one other issue that I would like to respond, and that is to respond to the post that was put forward by Tim Howes that alleges that AOPA Australia is an uncaring organisation and refused to link the BFDU PLA Trading Flight for Life fundraiser and the Bloody Big Barbecue fundraiser on our feeds. First of all, BFDU banned me from posting on their forums for a substantial period of time because I was labelled political. I was labelled political because I speak about the issues that are happening in this industry and I voice those concerns and I raise these concerns with the relevant politicians and I raise these concerns with government. During a period, I can only assume it's during a period in which I was banned, a request has been made to put this linking up, of which I actually don't have any recollection of receiving it. Now, considering that AOPA Australia supports Angel Flight and has gone to extreme lengths to fight shoulder and shoulder with Angel Flight to protect the rights of pilots to participate in flying community service flights, we have stood shoulder to shoulder with Fun Flight, and we have invested considerable resources into numerous Fun Flight events at Bankstown Airport and have encouraged our partners and sister organisations around the country to do the same. We have invested and spent countless hours supporting youth engagement strategies with high schools and university groups and work on airfields across the country to encourage others to be part of. The list goes on. But one thing I can say for certain, and I can look straight into the camera with absolute no problem whatsoever, I do not remember, Tim, ever receiving that request. And if I did receive the request and we didn't get back to it, it's not because we're an uncaring organisation that has no regard for the aviation community. It might be, Tim, that I've been extremely busy for 3.5 years fighting to stop airport closures, fighting to protect pilots from losing their medicals, fighting to protect all kinds of nonsense and stupidity to go on. And maybe contrary to what many people across this industry might think, AOPA Australia is a great brand. It's a very strong brand and it's an important brand. But when it comes to the work of AOPA, there's one guy. There's just one guy. I'm expected to cover these issues for you as an industry and as a membership from one side of the country to the next. And I try my damnedest. I try my damnedest. Probably try too hard in some instances, and I question why I throw so much effort into it. But we try. And so if we've missed this one issue, then I am deeply sorry that we've missed it, because it's not that we're not a caring organisation. Of course we're a caring organisation, and our track record speaks for itself. To Walter Riley saying I gave up my AOPA membership years ago, well, thanks, Walter. Thanks for the support. Thanks for all the support you've given this association as we've fought for your airfields. We fought to help stop the runway at Gympie being cut in half. We've tirelessly worked to overcome enormous challenges with Energy Australia wanting to put a high temperature gas emission stack within the circuit at Wollongong Airport, work that's taken months and months of work to get to a point where finally it looks like we've got an outcome that will actually balance safety at that location. The work that we've done at Mildura, the work that we've done in Victoria, the work that we've done in South Australia, the work that we've done for Western Australia, countless hours, all done to help everyone out there, pilots and aircraft owners. And so for those of you that have been quick to jump on the bandwagon, to throw a torpedo, dish out a little bit of hatred, kick the arse of AOPA and kick the arse of Ben Morgan, go ahead. Flog me. Flog me as hard as you can. But ask yourselves a question. What are you flogging? You're flogging one guy that's actually standing up for your industry and fighting for you. And ultimately, it may not make sense to be doing that. So for our members who are strong supporters of our association and continue to be strong supporters, I thank you on behalf of the membership and on behalf of our board for all of the work and all of the support that you do provide, because what we do is essential. You only need to ask the pilots out there that have been successful in getting their medicals back after years of being denied their rights, how valuable AOPA has been to them and to the airport communities that now have the confidence of knowing that their airports will continue to be there and not be sold off from underneath them or closed. And whilst you may not like my personality, and trust me, I've heard everything. I'm the most hated man in aviation. I've got Phil Yates running around the industry wanting to tell every person he can come into contact with that I've done more damage to aviation, more damage to general aviation than I've done good. You know, there's certain groups out there that you just love laying it on. You love laying it on, and I don't know why you like laying it on. Is it you don't like the personality? That's fine. I can understand that not everyone's going to like everyone. There's people I don't necessarily agree with, but by God, there's some underhanded crap that goes on in this industry, and I think it's high time that people start to take a nice reflective look at exactly what's going on and why it's going on, and to what benefit there is for it to be going on. So I'm saddened that I have to make this post, but frankly, I've had enough. It's gotten to a point where I just can't swallow it anymore. And I can tell you straight up, it's really not nice to have people having a snide crack at you 24/7 for the sake of standing up and trying to protect the industry. So there's a little bit of an insight as to what goes on, and maybe give people some reflection for it. So thank you very much for your time. We will continue to do our best for the industry. We will work as hard as we possibly can. We've proven that we'll be doing it. And I look forward to catching up with our panellists tonight at 7 o'clock for our broadcast. So thank you.